Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Sonny here from StockSmarty, and today I'm just going to do a quick video around rebalancing a couple of my own portfolios with the StockSmarty platform and Trading 212, which is the platform of choice I use to invest my stocks and shares. So without further ado, if you want to know how the platform works, you can see one of my previous videos, which I'll link above. But today I'm going to be rebalancing my top 10 portfolio and then what I call my main portfolio. So on my scorecard, on my face card in the portfolio tab of StockSmarty, we've got obviously the name of the profile, how many stocks are in there, the average dividend, some growth since inception, the ETFs that I use to analyse, and then obviously here we've got details on ex-dividend dates, etc., which we can see in further detail by going into the View tab, and obviously we can extend the calendar, etc., to see the information. However, what we're doing today is rebalancing this portfolio. As you can see, it's been over 43 days since I've done so. So I want to see what the latest position is on my stocks. Have they gone up, or should they go up or down in terms of percentage allocation that I'm putting into these stocks? Should I remove some? Should I add some? So I'm just going to rebalance my portfolio, and hopefully in a couple of seconds the results will come through and it will determine whether I need to add, remove, invest, etc. So the analysis is run. Obviously this is my top 10 portfolio, but the analysis will be done on all stocks within the ETFs via the criteria I've given it. So it's returned 81, but I'm not interested in 81. I just want to know what the top 10 are. So what I will do is I will select all, and I'll just unselect the top 10, and then what that will give me is the 10 strongest stocks, or the stocks where there's most alignment between the different ETFs. So if I remove 71 stocks, that gives me my top 10. And what I do is I like to equal the allocation in my top 10 stocks. So whereas before it was allocating an amount or percentage against the score, which is a mix of the frequency it appears in and the allocation that each ETF gives that stock within its portfolio. So if you see, obviously Cisco's got a higher weighting than what Microsoft has, but in my top 10 stock portfolio, I like to spread the allocation 10% each, and this is a personal preference of mine. So as we can see here, this is my version 4, this is my version 3. So as you can see, a lot of the stocks are the same as per my previous balance. However, it looks like Broadcom has dropped out of my top 10, and that has been replaced with this new one here that we can see, which is Texas Instruments. So this is telling me that the majority of my portfolio should remain the same. However, I should be replacing Texas Instruments. I should be taking out Broadcom and putting in Texas Instruments Incorporated. So what I will do now, I'll go into my StockSmarty portfolio. I will scroll down to the pie in which this aligns to, which is my top 10 investment fund. So in here, you can then see, if I go into holdings, I've got my 10 stocks. And as we saw on the previous, well, as we saw on the StockSmarty platform, I need to do a bit of rebalancing to myself. So I need to edit my pie, and we need to take out Broadcom. So Broadcom needs to be removed. So I go to remove, and we find Broadcom, take that out, done. And I need to add in the stock that is now appeared in my top 10 portfolio, which is Texas Instruments. So search for that, Texas Instruments, add to pie, continue. Okay, so just want to make sure the percentages are correct. So it's already added it at 10%. If it didn't, I could just tweak that as will, and then I can press confirm. And it gives me the option to rebalance now, but I won't be rebalancing now. I'll be rebalancing tomorrow when the market's open, because today is a Sunday. So at the moment, obviously it's saying I've got an unbalanced pie because I've still got my slice of Broadcom in the pie currently, and at the moment I haven't asked it to buy Texas. So when this opens tomorrow, I will rebalance, and then my pie will be updated and it will be refreshed. So here's my new portfolio. I haven't saved it yet, so I will save version 4. I'll give that a second. So now when I go back into my portfolios tab, I scroll down to my top 10 portfolio. I'm on version 4. When did I last rebalance it? Which was today. And then now I can see the stocks within my new rebalance and how that has changed against the previous version. So in the previous version, I didn't split my stock percentage by 10% each. I left it weighted. So obviously now these are weighted 10% each. The Cisco's come down 2%, and the likes of Microsoft would have gone up 2%. And again, in my view here, I can see my removed stock, which is my Broadcom. So I've always got an audit trail as to where I've been. And if I wanted to go back to version 3, I can view this profile and I can see exactly what stocks are included at this point in time. Similarly, I can go back to version 2 and 1, etc., etc. So that was one of the profiles I wanted to rebalance today. The next is what I call my main portfolio, which is basically my largest. And so I keep 50 stocks in this portfolio, and obviously I've got a number of ETFs here that I do my analysis on, and I keep 50 because I like to have the diversity in my portfolio, and I use this as predominantly my main trading or individual stock trading pie or portfolio, whatever you will. So the more you have, the more diverse it is. I can see that via my my sector breakdown here. So the more diverse it is, the less risk it is to your overall portfolio. So again, I come to my page, come to my portfolio page, I hit the rebalance button, and again in a few seconds this should give me an update to my portfolio and my criteria. And my criteria for this particular portfolio is that I want stocks that are over 1.9%. So only things that are over or have a dividend yield of over 1.9% will appear in my research results, and obviously anything that appears in 2 or more ETFs out of the 8 or 10 or so that I've chosen will appear here too. So same story as before, we've got our scorecard at the top. So I've only got 43 stocks appearing in my portfolio. The average dividend yield is 3.23. I've got 44 backup stocks. If you don't know what they are, then please view my previous video. I can see quickly at a glance what's come in and what's come out compared to my previous version 3. And then here on the left hand side, as before, as we saw on the top 10 portfolio tab, then I can see at a glance as well what's come in and what's gone out. So I know JP Morgan's come out, it's like Morgan Stanley's come out, etc., etc. So this could happen for 2 reasons. First of all, that the stock no longer meets my dividend threshold, so I had it as 1.9%, so potentially JP Morgan's dividends could have been cut. Or secondly, it's not appearing in at least 2 or more ETFs out of the 10 that I've asked it to. So the more likely scenario in this case is probably that the dividend has gone below 1.9%, which means it doesn't meet my threshold, which means I don't want it in my profile anymore. So whereas I had 50 stocks previously, it looks like now we're limited to 43. And again, if you don't understand what the yellow shading is on these stocks, then please review my previous videos and that will all be explained. So what I can do now, I can save this version as version 4 because this is my new version. Okay, and once this saves, again, I'm on my new version 4, it tells me when I've updated it today, and then when I go into my view, I can quite simply see now what has changed and what I need to do in my Trading 212 platform. So, for example, AbbVie previously was at 3%, the new allocation is 4%, so I know quite clearly I need to go through these and change the percentages. Once we get down to HSB Holdings, it was 2% last time, there's been no change, so essentially I don't need to go in and change the percentages into Trading 212. And then similarly, we've got ones that have come in new, so I need to add Starbucks and ADP, and I also need to remove a number of stocks from our portfolio that were in there previously that have now come out. So I'll start with the stocks to remove, so I need to go for JP Morgan. So first of all, sorry, back to the Trading 212 platform. This is my share investment fund. We're going to edit the pie. I'm going to remove a number of stocks, which I'll do now. So okay, so they're the stocks I've removed, and now I know I need to add 2, so Starbucks and ADP, so I can add those now. Okie dokie. So here's my new portfolio. There should be 43 stocks in here now. When you add something from Trading 212, it automatically gives it 10%, so we need to just bring these down to the 1% allocation that they've been given. So we'll do that now. And then what we need to do is just go through and just make sure everything else is aligning to the new percentages. Okay, so and then again tomorrow I will rebalance the pie once the markets are open, and then the stocks that I've removed, bottom of the pie, will be sold, and then the rest will be rebalanced and brought to rebaseline the profile. So essentially that's all that it is. That's all that it takes to rebalance a profile on StockSmarty. As you'll see now, so what will happen, so my days since last updated was today, so previously it had 40 odd days ago. I will come back in a month or so, see where the profile is at that point, rebalance, and the cycle starts again, just to make sure that my portfolio is always up to date with the latest stocks that meet the criteria in the portfolio that I'm after. So again, if you haven't seen the StockSmarty platform, please review some older videos. We've got things here like forecasts, you've got your analysis, you've got your homepage, you've got your portfolio. Again, we've got blogs and frequently asked questions. Please comment below. I do read the comments. I'll be more than happy to reply to them. If you want me to look into reviewing any particular combination of ETFs, I'm happy to do that. Just give me a shout and we'll do that. But yeah, please. Also, please feel free to sign up to the tool. It is absolutely free to try. And then obviously if you want to use some advanced features of the profile, such as AI functionality, news and exports, etc., then feel free to subscribe to one of the higher tiers. But once again, thanks for listening, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video.